But wait, that's not all. uh, we recently, in 2019, received a new collection of Alice Meredith papers that were actually found on a houseboat in Florida. A couple found it when they bought a house in Florida, and the person they bought it from said that he had found them in a houseboat. And they called, and we ended up with the papers, and it covers, this is another set of things from Alice Meredith, and it covers more of the post 1893 story, including a lot of photos of Alice and her family, which are, less significant for the suffrage movement in general, but interesting from a biographical perspective of Alice. It also goes into her writing career and includes a lot more correspondence. So this slide shows examples of some of the major people who are correspondents of Alice's, including Susan B. Anthony, Anna Howard Shaw, Carrie Chapman Catt, Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and Ida Husted Harper, as well as Ben Lindsay, who was a major Colorado historical figure. There's actually a telegram in there from Ben Lindsay asking if he should run for Vice President of the United States for the Progressive Party in 1912, and Ellis's response, which is not if you're going to run against William Jennings Bryan. So Alice was also involved in the first charter convention for the city and county of Denver, and has this cute, on the right-hand side, it has this cute Denver Post political cartoon showing Alice getting more votes than all the other people on the commission. And then a photo of Alice from the newspaper, as well as the charter itself. Those are all included in the collection. And Alice worked for the National American Women's Suffrage Association, and then she went on to work for the Democratic Party. And so there's a lot of material in the collection from the 1916 presidential campaign for Woodrow Wilson, who does not have traditional women's suffrage. He hasn't been interpreted as a pro-women's suffrage president or presidential candidate. But Alice was definitely pushing his suffrage bona fides, I guess. And that was in opposition to the National Women's Party. But like a good politician, Alice was also collecting things from the National Women's Party, including their campaign textbook in the upper right-hand corner, which lays out their platform and their strategy for the 1916 campaign, as well as the program and flyers from their national meeting, which was held in Colorado Springs in 1916. So kind of another cool Colorado history moment where the National Women's Party Conference was held at the Antlers Hotel in Colorado Springs. And we even have like the program of who was involved. And this was because Alice was in the opposing party. There are more things in the collection not having to do with suffrage, but having to do with Alice's career as a writer. She was the editor of the Western Club Woman. She had several books published between 1904 and 1912. And she collected all of her Denver Newspaper Writers Union working cards, and those are all in there as well. She was very proud to be paid for her writing, and to be a member of the union. So these objects show that involvement in her writing career. Also, as part of the collection are a number of magazines that she wrote for, including the Western Club Woman, the American Woman, the Women's Club of Denver, but also some national writing of one of her books, Sharp Arrows, was published in magazines first, and those are included in the collection. Alice's is not the only women's suffrage collection that we hold at History Colorado. We do have the 1893 ballot. It also arrived anonymously in the mail last year. So that will be in our American Democracy exhibit that's opening in September. but there's a copy of it at the Byers-Evans house in a women's suffrage exhibit, which I'll talk about more in a moment. The picture, the black and white picture of the man signing, that's Governor Shoup signing the 19th Amendment, which was passed in 1920. And a number of the suffrage leaders are standing behind him. I don't know who they are identified, but that's one of our photos. We have 5 different letters from Susan B. Anthony that were written to different suffrage supporters, including Senator Teller. We have his papers, and Grace S.B. Patton, who we have a letter from her as well. She's another suffrage leader. And then the photo there with the car that says Votes for Women, that's just one image inside of a larger set of family papers. So how can you see all these collections? Well, once History Colorado has reopened, they will be available in the Stephen Hart Research Center, which is on the 2nd floor of History Colorado, and is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4. And we will also be attempting to scan and otherwise digitize a lot of these collections and get them online. But you don't have to pay admission to the museum. You can come in and see this stuff whenever we're open. So I hope you take advantage of that. Because this year is the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment in 1920, History Colorado is participating in a number of initiatives right now, including the Women's Centennial Vote Commission, which was a board of women political and business leaders that were appointed by Governor Hickenlooper. They are hosting a calendar of events on the History Colorado website, which is available at that URL there. There's also a Bold Women Change History lecture series. The next event for that will be a summit on May 27th, 2020, and there are tickets available now. And then we have 2 exhibits open right now. One is at the center, or they're open right now when the museums reopen. One of them is at the Center for Colorado Women's History at the Byers-Evans house, and it is really centered around the 1893 campaign and the lead up to it and what happened afterwards. And then the History Colorado Center will be hosting a Smithsonian exhibit called American Democracy, which is opening in late September. And it's going to include the original Susan B. Anthony letter as well as the original 1893 ballot. And it's about who gets to vote, how voting rights happen. So it definitely ties in with the suffrage theme. There are also fellowships available at the Center for Colorado Women's History. Applications are being accepted right now. And I'm working on a guide to all of our women's suffrage collections at History Colorado, which I'm hoping to have available in August. So I just want to say thank you for hearing the presentation, and this is my contact information if you need to get a hold of me. Best way is through email of sean.boyd@state.co.us. Have a great week. Thank you.